Easy to pick up, impossible to put down. No, I'm not talking about my low-hanging fruit joke structure, I'm talking about Pokemon! And who doesn't love these vicious little buggers who jangle around in the pockets of tweens like unlicensed nuclear weapons? It's fun to collect them all and travel the lands attempting to see every beautiful inch of Game Freak's monolithic franchise. And then the fans come in, the hardcore ones. The ones that spend countless hours looking at every word, every person, and every location in order to piece together the world and fill in the gaps that I'm pretty sure no one was asking to be filled. Some of the Pokemon theories these guys, girls, and trans Gengars have put forward have been insane, and annoyingly have made us realise that some of them are pretty decent and have quite good logic to them. With this in mind, I'm Jules for WhatCulture.com, and these are 7 crazy Pokemon origin theories that'll blow your mind! Bit of a BuzzFeed title, isn't it? Number 7. Aerodactyl are prehistoric Zubats. Let's kick things off with a theory whose logic is sort of grounded in the real world. Zubat, that pesky bat that will always pop up when you try to work your way through a cave, is an evolution of Aerodactyl, the fossil Pokemon you can get by taking the old amber all the way from Pewter City to Cinnabar Island. And when we say evolution, we don't mean in the normal Pokemon sense, we mean in the old Charles Darwin way, aka the come on how can you deny this way. This stems from the fact that on a basic level, they share many aspects. Aerodactyl's color scheme is a toned-down version of Zubat's. They both have pointy ears, and their wings have the same basic structure, and Zubat's points are where Aerodactyl's claws would be. This theory is given an added sheen of legitimacy when you consider how this would occur in the real world. Animals that exist from the Cretaceous period or before tend to be those that lived in the sea or deep underground, where major geographical changes have less of an effect. And considering Zubats come from dark caves, it could stand to reason that Aerodactyl could have become a cave dweller, losing eyes and growing ears over time. Number 6. Gengar is a dead Clefable. What with all the animal-based creatures in the world, ghost Pokemon stand out as one of the weird elements of the universe. Just where do they come from? Well, dead Pokemon, surely. You see, in the case of Gengar, what if it's actually the ghost of Clefable? On a simple physical level, they share a lot, with pointy ears, stubby limbs, 3 fingers, tail, wings, spikes on their back, but there's more to it than that. Both characters tend to be seen on a full moon. While that's a pretty ghostly thing anyway, it might be a factor that Gengar abides to in order to honor its previous life. Another similar theory is that Ghastly is a dead cloister without its shell, yet whether fishy or fairy, Gengar and his ghoul gang need to come from somewhere, right? Number 5. Bulbasaur's bulb is an oddish. Bulbasaur, known to many as the lesser chosen starter Pokemon, I still love you buddy, actually might be hiding a little secret on its back. The Pokedex in red and blue states, a strange seed was planted on its back at birth. The plant sprouts and grows with this Pokemon. Clearly this isn't just any old seed though, it evolves too. And what creature do we know is a bulb? None other than Oddish. Red-eyed with a leafy hair that could easily collect to create the bulb on Bulbasaur's back, this theory suggests that there's a symbiotic relationship between the two, where they essentially become part of the same creature. It's the seed that allows Bulbasaur to photosynthesize after all. This is backed up by Bulbasaur's evolutions, Ivysaur and Venusaur, both having the bulb grow upwards in a pattern not dissimilar from Gloom and Valplume respectively, which are Oddish's evolutions. This does, however, come with a slightly depressing slant. If the bulb evolves with the main creature, that means that the Oddish loses its own sentience to become part of Bulbasaur, essentially being absorbed into the Pokemon. Creepy. Number 4. Butterfree should be Venomoth. From in-world probing to the production mistakes made in the game's code, Butterfree is the evolution of Caterpie and Metapod, while Venomoth is the evolution of Venonat. Based on that information though, you'd expect Venomoth to have a dark purple colour and big round red eyes, and Butterfree to be rather angular in design with round pupilled eyes. But that's not the case. In fact, they're both completely the wrong way round. Going on looks alone, Venomoth should really crawl out of a Metapod. Given how Weedle and Beedrill are clearly from the same line, this is a little strange, so what's up? It's long been assumed that at some point the sprites for the two characters got switched and the mistake was never corrected. This obviously isn't the only naming mistake that's been made over the course of the game though. I mean, look at Golduck and Psyduck, surely the names should be switched. Number 3. Ditto is a failed clone of Mew. On the face of it, this seems like the most ridiculous theory on the list, but it's so in-depth that in reality it's one of the most likely to have been intended by the creators. We know from the existence of Mewtwo 2 that there's been an attempt to clone Mew, and it's rather short-sighted to think that they'd have got it right on the first time. What if an early attempt led only to parts of Mew being cloned, leading to the mimic Ditto? Aside from the similar shade of skin though, it sounds crazy, right? Except that Mew and Ditto have some very specifically identical traits. They're both genderless and weigh exactly 4 kilograms and are the only 2 Pokemon capable of learning the move Transform. But the biggest clue of all is that Ditto is commonly seen around the place where Mew was cloned and Mewtwo was created, the Pokemon Mansion on Cinnabar Island. Not so silly now, right? Number 2. Cubone is an orphan baby Kangaskhan. The granddaddy of Pokemon origin theories. This one is so potent and believable you'd be ridiculed for not believing it. The general gist is that Cubone, this lonely Pokemon, is actually the orphan baby of a fully grown Kangaskhan. The Pokedex in yellow states Cubone wears the skull of its deceased mother. Yes, it's extremely morbid, but it opens up a deep mystery. The only Pokemon in Generation 1 shown to be a mother is Kangaskhan, who carries around their baby in their pouch. Cubone certainly doesn't look dissimilar from the baby Kangaskhan, so it's an easy theory to accept. And number 1, Voltorb is a Pokeball possessed by Haunter. One of the most deliriously silly theories actually answers one of the biggest questions in the Pokemon world, namely, why is there a Pokemon that looks exactly like a Pokeball? Did somebody design the method of containing creatures around one of the more volatile monsters as a bit of a laugh? Well, notice how Voltorb, the Pokeball Pokemon, has a very similar eye shape to Haunter, who may also be the ghost of Clefairy. Keep up. Could this Pokemon actually be an inanimate object that was possessed by a Haunter who got trapped by the odd containment magic of the ball itself? That'd explain where self-destruct comes from. It's Haunter trying to escape. Okay, we'll admit that this is a bit on the implausible side, but if we can accept failed clones and dead Pokemon, this actually isn't as big a leap as it first seems. And those are some weird origin Pokemon theories. Got any others that we should know about? Well, let us know about them in the comments section below. Then why not swing by whatculture.com for more news and articles like this every goddamn day. As always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon.